Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Heat-related illness among junior and senior high school students most common during club activities involving exercise. Experts stress need for science-based preventive measures. An analysis by the Japan Sports Promotion Center of heat-related illness cases at junior and senior high schools reveals that the majority occur during club activities involving physical exercise. Heat illness risk particularly spikes during the post-rainy season period when temperatures surge rapidly. Experts emphasize the importance of implementing countermeasures based on objective data, such as the heat index, calculated from temperature and humidity levels, including shortened practice times, secured rest periods, and frequent water intake. Schools and instructors are called upon to carefully monitor changes in students' physical condition while prioritizing scientifically based safety measures. Dangerous heat conditions in Kyushu. Strict heat stroke prevention measures urged as heavy rain hits Hokkaido. Japan's weather on the 11th is showing significant regional variations. Temperatures are rising in western and eastern Japan, with some areas in Kyushu experiencing dangerously hot conditions exceeding 38 degrees Celsius. In these circumstances, the risk of heat stroke is increasing. When going outside, be sure to drink water and consume salt regularly, and avoid going out during the daytime as much as possible. Please take thorough heat stroke prevention measures. Meanwhile, Hokkaido is experiencing heavy rainfall due to the influx of moist air. Attention is needed for landslides and swollen rivers. All residents across the country are urged to monitor weather information for your respective regions and remain safe. Typhoon No. 9 poses continued risk of violent winds over Okinawa's Sakishima Islands through tonight, heightened alert urged. Large and powerful Typhoon No. 9 is gradually moving away from Okinawa Prefecture's Sakishima Islands, but the region remains within the storm's violent wind zone. There is a risk that winds will strengthen due to wind reversal over the Sakishima Islands and surrounding areas through tonight, making continued vigilance essential. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, maximum instantaneous wind speeds could exceed 40 meters per second. Residents are urged to avoid going outside as much as possible and remain in safe indoor locations. Additionally, please be alert to landslides caused by heavy rainfall and swelling rivers. Please continue to check weather information for updates on the typhoon's path and intensity. JAXA's reusable rocket experimental aircraft successfully completes test flight and landing. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, conducted a flight test of a reusable rocket experimental aircraft on the 11th in Noshiro City, Akita Prefecture. The experimental aircraft flew normally and successfully ascended to approximately 11 meters in height as planned before landing safely. Unlike conventional expendable rockets, reusable rockets can be used multiple times, which is expected to reduce space transportation costs. This test represents an important phase in confirming the aircraft's stability and verifying the operation of its control systems. Going forward, JAXA plans to advance its technology development toward practical application by conducting increasingly advanced flight tests. Olympic concert. Medal winners from Winter Olympics and Paralympics share their stories. An Olympic concert was held in Tokyo, where memorable moments from this year's Winter Olympics and Paralympics were relived through large screen footage and live orchestral performances. 12 medalists took the stage, including Masato Sukada, who won gold in men's snowboarding halfpipe, and each shared their memories and emotions from their respective events. The athletes passionately spoke to the audience about their journeys of challenge and the joy of their medal-winning moments. Accompanied by the powerful sounds of the orchestra, numerous highlight scenes were showcased on screen, allowing visitors to experience the inspiration of the Olympics once again. U.S. OpenAI launches new AI model to general public, Surpasses, Mythos, benchmark. American AI company OpenAI announced on the 9th that it has begun offering its latest generative AI model, GPT 5.6, to the general public. The model boasts significantly improved performance over the conventional ChatGPT and is said to have exceeded the high-performance targets known in the industry as Mythos. GPT 5.6 features enhanced capabilities in generating more accurate responses and solving complex problems, with improvements not only in text processing but also in image recognition and multilingual support. OpenAI stated that it anticipates this AI will be utilized across various fields including healthcare, education, and business. General users will now be able to receive more advanced and reliable support through this AI. Prime Minister Takaichi vows to follow former Prime Minister Abe's legacy and continue pursuing new challenges. Prime Minister Takaichi delivered a speech at a gathering held to mark 4 years since the shooting incident involving former Prime Minister Abe. Prime Minister Takaichi highly praised former Prime Minister Abe's bold approach to tackling difficult issues that divided national opinion. She went on to express her resolve to follow in Abe's footsteps and continue taking on new challenges regarding important state matters without hesitation. Prime Minister Takaichi has indicated her intention to inherit former Prime Minister Abe's political legacy while actively advancing policies that benefit the people. LDP Secretary General Suzuki seeks opposition cooperation on Vice Capital Bill. With the current Diet session set to end next week, Liberal Democratic Party Secretary General Suzuki held a press conference requesting the opposition's cooperation to pass legislation related to the Vice Capital initiative within the current session. Secretary General Suzuki argued that, given the LDP's decision to shelve deliberations on a bill to reduce the number of House of Representatives seats in response to opposition backlash, the opposition should make concessions and cooperate in passing the Vice Capital Bill. The plan to designate Osaka as a vice capital is being prioritized by the ruling coalition, as it is expected to drive economic growth and regional revitalization. With limited time remaining before the session ends, coordination with the opposition parties will be crucial. Imperial Household Law Amendment expected to pass current Diet session as upper house schedule being arranged. An amendment to the Imperial Household Law aimed at securing the number of imperial family members passed the lower house today. The amendment addresses the declining number of imperial family members and includes provisions allowing female members of the imperial family to retain their status even after leaving the imperial lineage. With passage in the lower house, the amendment is now on track to be enacted during the current parliamentary session. The government and ruling coalition plan to expedite deliberations in the upper house before the session ends next week to ensure its passage. If enacted within the current session, it will mark an important step toward ensuring the stable continuation of the imperial institution. South Korean semiconductor giant SK Hynix lists on Nasdaq, raises approximately 4.3 trillion yen. South Korean semiconductor major SK Hynix listed on the American Nasdaq market on the 10th. Through this listing, the company will raise approximately 4.3 trillion yen in Japanese currency. As global AI demand continues to surge rapidly, SK Hynix plans to allocate the raised capital toward the construction of production facilities and capital investments. As one of the world's leading memory semiconductor manufacturers, the company intends to pursue strategic investments with an eye toward future growth. The listing amid intensifying competition in the semiconductor industry is expected to strengthen the company's management foundation. SoftBank and PayPay consider investing in 7&i Holdings. It has been revealed that telecommunications giant SoftBank and mobile payment leader PayPay are considering making an investment in 7&i Holdings, a major retail group. The two companies aim to rapidly expand their points-based economic ecosystem by integrating telecommunications, payment, and convenience store operations. The strategy appears to involve combining the store network of subsidiaries such as 7-Eleven with PayPay's payment infrastructure to improve customer convenience and drive increased usage. If this partnership is realized, it could accelerate the development of new business models that transcend industry boundaries. Average rice prices at supermarkets fall below 3,500 yen for the first time in about 1.5 years. Rice prices at supermarkets across the nation are declining. During the week through last month's 5th, the average price of rice sold was 3,458 yen including tax per 5 kilograms, dropping below 3,500 yen for the first time in approximately 1.5 years. With rice inventories running significantly higher than typical levels, retailers and wholesalers are believed to be cutting prices in an effort to reduce their stockpiles. While the price decline provides relief for consumers' household budgets, it is putting pressure on farmers' operations. Close attention needs to be paid to how future supply and demand conditions and price trends will affect agricultural management. Death toll exceeds 4,000 in major Venezuela earthquake. Japanese emergency relief team active in disaster zone. The damage from a major earthquake that struck South America's Venezuela last month continues to grow, with the death toll surpassing 4,000 more than 2 weeks after the disaster struck. Search and rescue operations for the many missing persons are still ongoing. In La Guaira State, which has suffered the most severe damage, Japan's International Emergency Assistance Team has established a base of operations and is conducting relief activities centered on medical support. The relief team is providing medical treatment and health management for disaster victims, as well as distributing essential supplies, playing a vital role in international relief efforts. The Venezuelan government is also accelerating its reconstruction efforts, and further expansion of international support is expected in the coming days. Major League Baseball's Los Angeles Dodgers to visit the White House on July 23. The Los Angeles Dodgers of Major League Baseball will make a courtesy visit to the White House on July 23. The Dodgers have won the World Series in back-to-back years, claiming the championship in both last season and this season, earning baseball's highest honor. The White House visit represents a show of respect and celebration for the team's remarkable achievements. While the Dodgers have visited the White House several times in the past, this visit following their consecutive championships will be particularly significant. The team will unite to receive this honor and participate in this important event that symbolizes American political and sports culture. Mexican national dies after being shot by U.S. immigration officer. Accounts differ between authorities and witnesses. A Mexican national without legal residency status was shot and killed by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer in Texas this month. Authorities say the officer fired in self-defense after finding himself in a critical situation. However, witnesses at the scene have provided accounts that contradict the official explanation, raising questions about the details of the incident. Human rights groups and other organizations have voiced criticism of the officer's actions, and a thorough investigation by authorities is expected to follow. United States demands Iran pledge to stop ship attacks in Strait of Hormuz. As negotiations between the United States and Iran are scheduled for the 11th, America is demanding that Iran publicly declare its commitment to keeping the Strait of Hormuz open and publicly pledge to stop attacks on commercial vessels. U.S. media outlets reported, citing anonymous officials, that Iran has informally acknowledged to associates of President Donald Trump that firing on ships in the strait was a mistake. According to the reports, Iran claims responsibility for the ship attacks lies with a group within the government that acted unilaterally. The White House has characterized the tit-for-tat attacks both sides carried out in the Strait of Hormuz this week as violations of a ceasefire agreement. However, President Trump has stated that both sides have nevertheless agreed to continue negotiations. The United States and Iran signed a ceasefire agreement memorandum on June 17, in which Iran partially guaranteed the safe passage of commercial vessels. CBS News, which has a partnership agreement with BBC in the United States, reported according to U.S. Government officials that the Iranian government claims hardliners within Iran's regime were responsible for the attacks on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz in an attempt to obstruct the negotiations. One U.S. government official told CBS that the Iranian side came back to the negotiating table and said, "This was our mistake. We were wrong. Let's continue the talks." ICE fatally shoots unintended target in Texas. On the 7th, a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer shot and killed a man on a Houston, Texas street while he was commuting to work. On the 10th, the Department of Homeland Security said the man killed by the officer was not the intended enforcement target. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a 52-year-old construction worker with Mexican citizenship, was shot after being pulled over around 7 a.m. on the 7th while driving to his work site. He was pronounced dead at a hospital shortly after being taken there. On the 10th, DHS announced that officers discovered a white van matching the description of a person who resembled the enforcement target and pulled it over. DHS claims the officer fired in self-defense. Passengers in the van and the victim's family are disputing DHS's account. DHS announced on the 8th that the agency's Inspector General has launched an investigation into the shooting. The ICE officer involved in the shooting was not wearing a body camera, and authorities have released no images or video of the incident. In a statement to CBS News, DHS's media partner in the United States, a DHS spokesperson said half of field personnel are already equipped with body cameras, and the remaining half are scheduled to receive them within the next 60 days.